As the cliche goes, April showers bring May flowers. But usually what comes after is the heat and dryness of summer. Hello again, SA here. And before the hot weather of the holiday shows up, you should indulge in my new short story, The White Cat, a free exclusive on Substack. The links are down below in description. Join Margot Thompson, a beautiful stage actress and recent widow who finds salvation in the form of a white cat during a night of terror. While checking out my oddball thriller, remember that my Glitch series is still available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. The links are down below in the description. While you'll find my peculiar story about a white pussy entertaining, that doesn't mean I'm out of ideas. I still have more stories coming down the pike, so as long as I don't run into any mishaps, you'll see those stories as well. Now let's get back to the video. Hello again, SA here. Back in the battle days of the 20th century, the phrase gamer, well, it had a different meaning, to say the least. In other words, basically for the people who like to play games, especially with women. You know, the term player is basically the use for that now. But back then, gamer had a different meaning. But the thing is, people who hanged out at arcades, they didn't use that term. No, they didn't. Indeed, they didn't really have an adjective to describe themselves, to say the least. And before I get any further, I would consider myself a gamer in the modern context, but back then. Indeed, Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, were one of my favorite games. And indeed, Space Castles, love that game. It was just so fun for a 4-bit game, to say the least. Indeed, back when I was a wee little kid, I think we were the first people in our block who got an original Pong game. You know, that old one you had to plug to the back of your TV set, turn to channel 3 and plug it in. And I can't remember if ours was ColecoVision or not, but my father managed to get his hands on one. And then later on, he managed to get his hands on one of the early Atari systems, 2600. But the funny thing is, those games were not as good as the ones in the arcade. I mean, you go to the arcade around that same time period, beginning 1980s and onward. They had all kinds of games. They had Galaxina, and they had an early version of Missile Command, and even had like a Star Wars game. I think it was called TIE Fighter. Yeah, that was fun. And a few other games too. I don't think they exist anymore. Such as I think it was called Ventura or Ventura, something like that. It was a haunted house game. And then they had a few others that I thought was kind of peculiar. Like Asteroids, which was similar technology-wise to Pong. And Space Wars, that was another little funny one. But the funny thing is, during that time period, let's just say that people tend to get excited, okay? I'm not talking about a little excited. No, excited for winning or losing. No, 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 no. They would get like really excited. Indeed, by the time the middle late 80s rolled around, let's just say this: the modern arcade was about as dangerous as hanging out at a pool hall back in the middle of the 20th century. You had a lot of shady characters hanging around that place, really shady. Indeed, I remember one time I was there along with my nephew, and we were watching people, go crazy on the damn Afterburner game. Fun game. And then before you could say Joe Blow, a fight broke out. And I ain't talking about no argument. I'm talking about full 15 rounds of Mike Tyson kind of fight. And me and my nephew managed to get out of the way, but man, those people were just going to hell on each other. No joke. And of course, what did everyone else do? Most people got away, and other people were saying, "Yay, fight, 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 fight!" Ridiculous. And that wasn't the first time that happened. I remember one time we were at the local arcade, which was in the what was known as the University Village, which doesn't exist anymore. And you say University Village? Yeah, it was next door to USC. It was basically a shopping mall. And one time, me and my nephew were going over there, not to the arcade per se, we were going over there for something else entirely. And holy shit, LAPD was there. And we didn't know what was going on. We know that they had a bunch of people lined up, all handcuffed. And then that's when we found out later that the damn gangbangers were there. Yeah, the Crips and the Bloods. Yeah, they were in the damn arcade, and I guess the one gang was already in there, and the other gang showed up before you could say Saturday Night Fights. People went crazy on each other. And at that point, I basically told my nephew, you know what, maybe you shouldn't be hanging out at that damn arcade no more, because someone's going to get shot in there. And then sure enough, not long after, the arcade closed down. I guess the people who ran the damn shopping mall decided there was too many riffraffs and lowlifes hanging out at that damn place. Hey, that's fair. I mean, they can't have a bunch of hoodlums hanging out the damn arcade where all those damn skinny white ladies and all those other, wet behind the ears, foreign students hanging out the damn shopping mall. But this is not a video about the bad old days of the 20th century at video arcades. No, this video is about the modern era. Now, of course, nowadays, the modern video arcade is Twitch. And of course, if you're familiar, I don't have to explain to you what Twitch is if you're, on the ball. Well, anyway, something recently just happened on Twitch. It's the equivalent of basically a bunch of hoodlums basically eyeballing each other and start throwing fists at each other. Except it's all done digitally. Except what's recently happened is like way more serious. I mean, it's the equivalent of having a couple of thugs, maybe from like the Southside Crips or maybe the damn Rolling 60s gang, seeing each other, and they pull out their damn Saturday Night Specials and start slinging lead at each other. Now I'm going to show you a video from Jerry from the Quartering who get you on the nuts and bolts of what just happened. Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
The story is getting bizarre. Last week, some idiot, some soy boy, decided to put a $20,000 bounty on the life of Mark Kern. Why? Because he criticized censorship in a video game. That person was reported to the FBI and immediately privated all their accounts, hopefully pending an arrest. You can see this originally covered on That Park Place. Evil individual places $20,000 bounty on Grums, aka Mark Kern, for beginning Stellar Blade campaign to be uncensored. That's all it was. A little campaign to not have censorship in it, to revert the changes that were made. Nope. you gotta lose your life for it because these lunatics are crazy people. Kern launched his campaign after the game's official account promised it would deliver the game uncensored. He wrote on X, Stellar Blade offers the same uncensored version in all countries, including Japan. A number of the game's outfits for the main protagonist Eve have been altered leading up to the official release of the game. Kern pointed out one, writing, "This is another confirmed outfit censored in Stellar Blade. Original on the left, we're working. We've seen all this kind of stuff. You've been following my channel. You know what's going on in terms of, the censorship there." Not only were a number of Eve's outfits altered, but the game also reduced, other aspects of the game, gore and things of that nature. Okay. Now, we obviously talked about the plan to get Stellar Blade censorship removed. By the way, have you played it? I purchased the physical copy to play, since I was told that will have no censorship in it. I purchased that, but I haven't had any time to play it yet. In the wake of announcing his 8-step plan to launch the petition, Kern had received a number of threats on his life. One individual who had since deleted their account appeared to put a bounty on Kern's head, writing 20K to anyone that makes this dip ass disappear. Kern reacted to post writing, "Now they want to hire hitmen to take me out. What did I tell everyone? They want you dead over game tweets." He's right. I've had 4 to 5 calls for this type of thing today alone, all because I'm asking for Stellar Blade to be restored to what was advertised. You can see Tone Man, 20K to anyone who makes this dip S disappear. I mean, it's a literal threat. It's not a figurative one. Like, it's a literal threat on his life. I don't know if this individual has $20,000. I suspect not. But they then, after, of course, they, it leaves their little bubble of wokies. They immediately deleted the tweet and privated all their accounts. You can see the account no longer exists. It was banned. Not even an account that, got shut down. It says it no longer exists. Tone Man gone. Okay. But that wasn't enough. All right. So all that he wanted to do was, have the game be what was promised. I know that's crazy. And again, I always want to arm my viewers with the knowledge that you need, should you want it, to push back against people who gaslight you. So the only comeback for people is, "Oh, what do you want to do? Fap to your video games?" All you have to do is say, "You're right. It's not a big deal," right? We agree. It's totally not a big deal. Whatever. Just play the game, right? They will say yes, because that's the point they're trying to make. It's not a big deal. And then you say, "Gotcha, bitch." Because if it's not a big deal, then why are they changing it? Then why do they make 25 separate iteration changes to various outfits if it's not a big deal? It is a big deal. And these lunatics know that. And they're very mad because people are spending money on AA and single A games and not AAA games. That's ultimately what it is. So then things escalated as Asmongold responded to it. And he says, "This is a felony." Asmongold responds to Twitch streamer Denims, saying she would pay $30,000 to make him disappear. So this is an individual, I don't know, I see they follow me on Twitter, I don't know. They appear to be some political streamer who also sells pictures of their beehole, so I assume they're a leftist. You can see Twitch streamer Denims TV ups my bounty to $30,000 while reacting to Asmongold's video about Tone Man's threats against me. This is getting out of hand. There should be a permanent suspension on Twitch and X. Also, FBI should be looking into this. 10,000 likes. This tweet was seen by nearly 1 million people. So, of course, immediately Denim TVs protects their tweets, protects their alt account. Why do these people always have alt accounts, too? So it protects both their accounts. Black Grums, not to see him on timeline, commit felony. I mean, you can look at the video yourself.
Listen, I'll up the number, okay? 30K to anyone who'll make this dipshit disappear and make Eve's breasts bigger. Okay, you have to do both. All right? Because then it's a win-win for me.
I mean, is it? Here's the thing. If we hold them to the very same standards that they would hold us, then this is absolutely a crime, and Mark Kern should report it. And he has reported it. He's reported it to Twitch and everywhere else. And this individual has privated their Twitter accounts, protected their Twitter accounts, deleted the stream, deleted the VOD, and is running scared right now after this comes out. Instead of a simple apology, right? By the way, if you don't want to see Grums on your timeline, you can just block him. In fact, you could also mute him. It's a very simple thing to do. You block him or mute him, you never see him on your timeline. Is she making this comment in jest? Yeah, probably. But that doesn't matter because we aren't afforded the benefit of the doubt. Right? We can go all the way to the people that, were trespassing, and walking around on a guided tour with police officers getting 10 years in prison. They weren't afforded the benefit of the doubt. We are never afforded the benefit of the doubt, ever.
I get more breast, and I don't have to see that moron on my timeline anymore.
You see a lot of people see mass reported.
So think about it.
OMG, people in this, a lot of her chat is basically, at minimum supporting, flagging this guy, this, that, and the other thing. I don't know. I don't know why you would go protected. I don't know why you would, why wouldn't you just delete the stream, delete the VOD, put out a tweet and be like, that was a stupid joke. I was going too far. My bad. I guess that is an admission of guilt. They refer to themselves as the largest female political streamer on Twitch. Oof, that's a murderer's row of red flags. Just a lady who talks about stuff. Also, look at my OF account, which is essentially what it is. Feds aren't going to do a dang thing. They're an enclave. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe you have 2 bounties on your head over video games. It's not even that. I talked to Grums. Him and I had a small disagreement when he was talking about, potentially going after her sponsors and things of that. It was not a big deal. Like, we're good, obviously. But he also let me know he's dealing with other stalkers. He's dealing with other people who are threatening him. Again, all over calling out censorship. That's all it is. You can think he's overreacting. Life goes on. You don't have to be a weirdo. You see, listen up, I'll up the number. During the broadcast earlier today, Asmongold reacted to the video. After watching, he claimed to have contacted Twitch and insinuated that he might file a police report. He elaborated, "What an artard, oh my God." Well, it's simple. So how do you deal with a situation like this? It's really easy. I've contacted Twitch about it earlier. I sent them a clip. We'll see what happens. And if you know what, after that, I might put in a police report. I haven't decided. I think I'm going to just wait and see how things plays out. Asmongold argued that the Twitch streamer Denims committed a felony, calling her actions unhinged.
Okay, you saw that, right? Now, at this point, you probably say, these people are full of beans. They didn't mean it. Are you sure about that? Because some of these knuckleheads, they got, as we used to say back in the old days, they got a lot of dollars and no fucking sense. Excuse my French. Yeah. I mean, you're going to sit there on the damn computer and order a hit on somebody just because you're arguing over some damn video game? And the stupid thing is, these clowns weren't even playing each other. I mean, the Stellar Blade game, okay, I didn't play it, but I read about it. Apparently, some people over in Europe made it up. And, of course, Jerry from the Core Ring said there was some drama over the game because supposedly, and believe me, I think this is beyond stupid, but supposedly the protagonist in the game is some Asian lady. Okay, so what? Anyone who's played Final Fantasy has probably noticed that more than once. But apparently, the lady is pretty. And you say, okay, so what? Well, apparently she's more than a little pretty. I mean, she looks like one of those damn, how can I say it nicely? One of those race queen models. And you say, race queen, what's that? Let's just say this. If you hang out in East Asia, like Seoul or Busan, and go to one of these damn auto races, and you see these women on the side of the track with the little signs. Yeah, they're referred to as race queens in that part of the world. But some of these women become really famous. You know, even no joke, they even become actresses and singers in East Asia. Yeah. But the thing is, the woman who was the model for the protagonist in Stellar Blade, as far as I know, she's not a race queen. She's just the wife of one of the game developers. And from one picture I've seen of her, I said, okay, this Korean lady, she could probably be a race queen. I mean, she's definitely pretty enough. But apparently, too many people got bent out of shape over this woman being in the game. And of course, right now, you're probably thinking, who cares? I know, who cares, right? Well, apparently someone cared. I mean, you're going to sit there first complaining about you have a pretty woman in the game. I think, hey, who cares you got a pretty woman in the game? Because I think there was a game a few years ago. Oh, God. It was about volleyball. I think it was called, Game of Death or something about playing to the death. It was a silly game. It came out, I think, back in the 90s, and they made a movie about it. Where a bunch of pretty girls are basically playing games like volleyball, except if you lose, you die. And that was basically the whole point of video game. And the girls were pretty. So what? Well, apparently that's not allowed in modern gaming. If you're basically in the video game business, the woman has to be ugly. I mean, they have to be mug ugly. I mean, they're so ugly that even their mothers won't even acknowledge them. I mean, that's basically the most operandi of modern gaming. And to the point where ordinary gamers or people like, say, the age of Journey from the Quartering, they don't like it. And have to admit, well, okay, I get it. And of course, then you probably say, who cares if the women are ugly in the video games? Or butt ugly and mug ugly. And look like the backside of a shaved cat. Well, apparently, that's what some of these people want. And you say, well, so what? Well, according to Journey from the Quartering, this has basically been a subplot going on in the gaming business for a while. Since the Gamergate incident, which I'm not going to get into. Okay, I mean, that's just a bunch of BS drama from beginning to last. But apparently, this Asian lady who was basically the template for the protagonist in Stellar Blade, the fact that she's a pretty lady and these people put her in the game, and I think the game is, I think if you saw, is being sold by Sony. Apparently, a bunch of knuckleheads, primarily in the United States. People who, for most part, from I can tell, are not really gamers. They're just knuckleheads on the computer. Apparently, they get really butthurt about this. Why? Well, according to Journey from the Quartering, apparently some of these people, they're like third and fourth and fifth wave feminists, and they tend to be looking like the backside of a barn that got hit by some blue ice and got all caved in. And I guess they don't like the fact that video games, at least video games until recently, all had pretty women in there. And apparently these people had some influence with some of the gaming companies here in the United States to where they didn't want pretty women in the games because they thought it was exclusionary. And at this point you're saying, oh, leftists again. Yeah, leftists. And of course, anyone's ever seen a bunch of mugshots from some of those riots that happened over the last few years, and then you could say, yeah, most of the women the police do capture and take pictures, yeah, most of them are tend to be mug ugly. So there you go. But apparently these people got enough juice with the gaming industry where if you are a gaming company, you put some pretty woman out there on your game, these people are going to show up on Twitter or Twitch and scream and cry and say, oh, you're being exclusionary, talking about, or you're being fat phobic. And I'm thinking, oh, shut up, you weirdos. But apparently what's happened recently is just dumb. Because as you saw in this thing, now they're putting hits on anyone who actually complains nowadays, and when I mean complaints, as you saw in that video, the people who are trying to kill each other are complaining over the fact that the woman doesn't have sexy outfits to wear. And I'm thinking, hasn't you Knuckles ever played the damn The Sims? Because if you had, you know that in The Sims, if you basically open up your wallet and give the online company your damn your bank account number, you can give your little avatar all kinds of sexy clothes. But then that was that was over a decade ago. I wonder if the damn Sims game is still around. Well, but anyway, but apparently these people have ruled the roost for so long that they had enough juice to basically criticize Sony and make them change the game to not so much make the protagonist ugly, but to give her less sexy clothes. And when, of course, as you saw in the video, when these two gamers innocuously complained that, hey, give the woman back her sexy outfits, then you're going to sit there and want to have them killed? I mean, this is the most BS malarkey Joe Biden turned nonsense I've ever heard. Now, back in the bad old days, when those damn hoodlums would bust out with their fisticuffs or bust out with their Tech Nines and try to kill each other, it was usually for various reasons. One guy had killed another guy's Confederate, or some guy moved into another guy's territory and now they can't sell crack in another neighborhood. Something substantial. But this here, this is just rubbish. BS. Nonsense. And I'm glad that enough people have basically pushed back against these weirdos and say, oh, you people need to shut up. It's not your video game. You have no business complaining about what the characters look like in the first place. And if you don't like it, guess what? You don't have to play the damn game. Okay? Anyone goes to the Steam website, you can see plenty of garbage games you can play with. You don't need to play this damn Stellar Blade. In fact, you don't have to play any games at all. And the most stupid thing about it, a lot of these people are not even kids. Most of these people are adults. And some of them are in their 30s. And I'm thinking, what are you doing playing a video game when you're fucking 30? You should be out working. I mean, really. I'm not even joking. You're sitting there in some overpriced gamer chair in some damn overpriced apartment that you probably can't even afford on fucking Twitch, streaming, getting paid more money than you should be getting paid for playing a video game. And you're complaining about the damn outfits for some damn avatar for some damn game that you don't even own. I mean, talking about cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. These people need to get a life, a real life. Okay? I'm not joking. I mean, that's probably why I don't really play video games anymore. And you say, really? Yeah. Because back during the 90s, I was playing video games occasionally, like Quake, remember that one? Or the original Doom, remember that? And there was this other one called Heretic that came out later. I liked that one too. That was kind of fun. And even in the early 2000s, I discovered the original Mafia. Oh, loved Mafia. Mafia was fun. In fact, that game, the storyline, that could be made into a movie. I like that thing. It was very cinematic. And of course, Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, I like that game too. But I haven't played video games in years. Nah, not really. In fact, probably the last video games I played was Age of Empires and Rise of Nations, those strategy games. I like those games. But that was like, a few years back. And I've just been too busy to sit there and play video games. I mean, call me an old fogey, but hey, that's the way I roll, okay? Because you only have so many hours in a day. and my time is precious to me. Therefore, I can't be sitting there messing around with some damn video game. Or worse, arguing with a bunch of knuckleheads on Twitch about some damn avatar's sexy outfits, okay? It's just dumb. It's retarded. It's ignorant. And if these people who are sitting there putting hits on each other catch a charge, well, it's on them, okay? They should have kept their mouths shut. Well, that's all I gotta say about this Twitch drama. And that's my opinion.